And we're back.
This is Randall. This is Mack. And we are the Ram Film Reviews. And we continue with the special guest, Armando Muse. So go ahead and follow him. If you are local to Miami, you're going to want to give him a follow. If you need a dope-ass haircut, highly recommend to go ahead and check out Armando Muse. He does cut locally, and he does house calls. So if you need that shit done real quick, you got somebody you can call.
Not the Ghostbusters.
No.
He'll be there for you. He'll be there for you.
Absolutely will be there for you.
We're trying to make this one short.
We'll try. We don't know how successful we'll be, but we will try. We're going to talk about a childhood favorite of my awesome friend here, Mac, and it is The Boneyard.
The Boneyard. I'd say it's from 1990. It was started production December 1989. But there's a little debate that it was released in 91.
Maybe the VHS was released in 91? Because it says 1990 up here, then it says 91 down here.
Yeah. Probably that's just the packaging. But yes, The Boneyard, basically you find, was it Alisa or Alice?
Allie,
there you go. A depressed sidekick.
Who's helped the police on various cases on finding cadavers and corpses of kids. And she has become traumatized, afflicted by this part of her job, and haunted by the images of all these kids she's had to recover and witness the recovery of bodies and nobody alive. So she's in a hole by herself, festering, hoarding in a hole
she
in
said,
an unlivable situation.
Oh hell yeah! Like she even said that she was burying her own tomb, and Randall, the opening scene, it's basically a detective, Detective Jersey, I believe, and his young rookie partner, going to her, trying to find her, and her living conditions is just nasty. Just you can tell
decrepit.
Yeah, it was a spitting image of what she's feeling how she looks at herself.
Yeah.
It looks deserted. Clothes hanging everywhere, pots and pans on the stove, and like you mentioned, once the room was entered, just a pile of clothes on the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like nobody was living there.
Yeah.
Mind you, she was under there, just sleeping.
But immediately I looked at that scene, I'm like, that looks like the shape of a person.
Yeah, they look like the shape of a person with the feet curved and whatnot.
Yeah.
But what I love about this movie, just the beginning, it just draws you in with the score. Mm-hmm. It's just so intense, and also you're just wondering what's happening. Why are the detectives there? What are they looking for? Why? And you see a bunch of newspaper articles with photos, I guess half burnt on the fireplace, and you just see the title, Sidekick, deaths. So it's like, shit, something heavy is going on.
Yeah.
But this is something that I brought to Randall and Armando today. And I was like, hey, shit, let's do a VHS review. An old school horror movie, one of my favorites. Like I said, I grew up watching this. Just shows you what was allowed in my household as a kid. This was released basically when I was born, or before a few months. I was born 1990. Randall, what do you think about the beginning of the movie?
Well, the beginning was already kind of captivating, because you're wondering if they're investigating some kind of call, if they're investigating some kind of disturbance, or searching to see whatever. Because all you see is two cops walk up to a house, knock on the door, nobody answers, and then you just walk in. Mm-hmm. At this point, I noticed that the officer had gone through the clippings that were near the fireplace, but I didn't put too much attention to the psychic part or any of that kind of stuff. I just saw newspaper clippings of files and stuff like that, and then proceed to the appearance of Allie, the psychic, and immediately you get the gist of her emotional breakdown
Yeah.
over this, just in those moments, in those opening moments, right off the back, you see how much it's broken her, how much it's affected her. And this detective comes and says, we have a case we found 3 kids, no way to know where they're from, but we need to find out what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
They're being kept in a funeral home, and there was no backstory to where they came from.
Yeah, exactly. He said, you could tell Allie was like, no, I'm not going to do this again. And
Yeah.
it's like, you're questioning what happened in the past that traumatized her so much that she's like, no, I'm not doing this to myself. I'm not
Yeah.
going back. So, I don't want you to think about, about your personal trauma, but just think like the worst thing you've gone through. Like, somebody comes like, oh, I need you to go back to that point and, help me solve something. But yeah, what's amazing, what Randall said, he didn't notice the word psychic on the newspaper, but as you watch these movies over and over, like any movie, you find the little details, hidden details and whatnot.
Yeah.
And what Randall said too, of Allie, her physical state, she's a hefty woman, so who knows if she was a hefty always, or due to her depression mode, she overate, she didn't care about her image.
Well, they kind of pointed that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, so another person in this movie is Phyllis Diller, right? So Phyllis Diller is the person in charge of the morgue, where they have the 3 kids that they found. Mm-hmm. And in a scene where they're going ahead to hand over, to try and get access inside.
Yeah, they call it Boneyard, where all the bodies are at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They start trying to fill out all the paperwork, and then they say, okay, well, I need your ID as well. And then Phyllis Diller grabs the ID from Allie and looks at it, and she goes, oh, you've put on a few.
There you go. See? Look at that. I've been watching this for years, and I didn't catch that. All right,
yeah,
so
obviously,
give you those little hints when you
so it was an obvious hit that there was definitely an overeating issue that might have happened due to the depression and the situation in her mental state at that point. So that part stood out to me there, and what I pointed out at this point to Mac is I would really be interested, and I think this would be a thing where talking to an actor in the field and maybe figuring out how that works when body image gets used as a plot portion to this, like something that fills in part of the storyline, because it becomes part of the storyline in a way, like her weight becomes something. And I always try to figure here, okay, so how does an actor feel when they're put in that position? Because who knows if in real life they put on the weight for the purpose of the film, or
that's just them.
Like we've seen, like Jared Leto did it, 50 Cent did it. So many actors have done it where they lose an extreme amount of weight for a movie and do something that harms their body in a way just for the role.
Yeah.
Who knows if the actor in this role went over to that point and put herself in a physical position where she was heavier before the role, or if she was genuinely heavy. Like you mentioned, Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill is one of those actors that always got pointed out as the fat funny guy.
Like Chris Farley, the fat funny guy.
Yeah.
And Jonah Hill, he lost his weight, and I remember one of the interviews that he just respectfully just calls out the interviewer, because I think she had asked him, "Are you still considered the funny guy?" It's like saying that, "Are you still funny now that you're skinny?" So that's just an image that Hollywood painted over him, that he was only funny because he was fat. Not saying that fat people are funny. So that's a good point that Randall brought up, and made me think more of like.
Yeah, it brings that curiosity to the point, like, okay, if an actress is already in a self-conscious body image kind of perspective, and they use that as a form of storytelling in the movie itself, like how much does it also affect your own mental health at that point? Because Chris Farley was one of those that he felt very bad about his own self-image, but knew that his self-image was a major part of his comedy.
Correct.
You know, so
and he felt a lot of people were laughing at him.
Yeah.
Not with him.
Exactly. So that is one of those things that comes out to me, and it stood out with one scene where Phyllis Diller uses an insult in a moment where, you know, you hear the insult and you're like, ooh, that stings. You know, and obviously we live in a different society now, in a different kind of culture where things like that are a little bit more apprehensive to be used. But even in a film aspect, and knowing that it's not really with intent and that kind of malice, how much does it affect an actor and actress to be put in that position where, you know, their weight or whatever, you know, body image or anything can be used against them?
Exactly, and also like what Randall said, the two words that were used was called fat bitch.
Yeah.
And the way that Phyllis Diller said it, it was in a comedic way.
That's before 1980 says he loves the sequel, The Boneyard.
Who said that? Oh.
That's before 1980.
Fucking Merle. I love you, Merle.
I want to add to that because what you were saying, what you got to say, the flip side to that is just, you're good, it's great. The flip side to that, you know, it's, alright, let's say that the actor, they purposely put on the weight. They know their role.
Yeah.
It's comedic, it's funny, they use that as a plot. But, you know, in today's society, unfortunately, anything that is body shaming, anything that's used against you, is not only not just going towards the character or the actor. Now you're gonna have your audience and your viewer that gets offended, and then they'll critique the movie or boycott the movie because now you're reaching masses now of people who feel like they're being body shamed for being obese, big, anorexic, etc., etc. So I'm glad that Randall pointed that out, because now in nowadays films, they're apprehensive of saying things of that nature because of the backlash that they might receive.
And that's kind of sad.
And it sucks because
walking on eggshells
all the time.
Just because, let's say, a Karen or Ken out there are not okay with their body image, which I'm not okay, and I know I have to do something about it. But you as a viewer, this is a movie. You know, this is not directed at you.
This was her first movie. Deborah Rose was a lady who played
yeah,
Allie.
there you go. Ski Patrol. That's the movie I saw her first in. Amazing movie. I gotta find it in physical form, but it's on Tubi, I believe. But yeah, like I said, you as a viewer, you gotta see this is just a movie. I know it's also could be based on people's lives and whatnot, but don't take it personal or as a jab.
Times were different.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I guess we grew up differently, and we grew up with that mentality, with our
comedy
Gen
was
Z,
different. Yeah,
Gen Z, and not pointing fingers, but you know, it's not all about you. You know, it's just a film where a group of people come together and
it's like comedy.
Entertain us, yeah. So yeah, back to the movie. Sorry, we took
a serious route there.
A little curvature route, but
being woke.
I wouldn't say that, but
absolutely, actually the opposite of that woke culture.
Yeah.
But,
so the main thing about the Boneyard is there's a Dr. Chen.
Yard.
Yeah, Dr. Chen, which is the main suspect of the three missing kids.
Yeah.
Which there's a backstory. Would you say family? Family.
Well, yeah.
Not tradition.
It's the legacy of the family is to keep in control. A
Kiyoshi.
Kiyoshi, which is a demon, an ancient demon that feeds on flesh, and his family, through all generations, have had the task of keeping them at bay and keeping them fed during their time, so they don't come back and cause havoc and create more. Because we get the little glimpse of the creation of the first, right? And all we see is a single child being converted into Kiyoshi.
Yeah. Like Yoshi, put a K in front of it, Kiyoshi.
Yeah, Kiyoshi. And, but you see that there's three. So then you kind of understand that they have ways of multiplying themselves, and that gets kind of shown in a way differently, but kind of gets expressed in a certain
Yeah, exactly.
Funny.
And then what Dr. Chen was saying, that it was his family's responsibility, and he just wanted to end that.
Yeah.
So he had like self-realization, I believe, that this is wrong, and he had to do what he had to do to try to stop it. He was unsuccessful, and that's why I believe Detective Jersey came to Ali for more help. Not that I don't think that he knew what was going on, but I guess you could say supernatural things happened.
Yeah, he didn't. You mean the detective?
Yeah, he didn't.
He didn't believe in the psychic ability. He just seen it work.
Her evidence that that it worked, that she solved cases and certain, not all the time.
So his way of looking at it was like, I don't know if you're a psychic or not. I don't believe in that stuff, but for some reason you get results, so be it. If you get the results, that's all I care about.
Yeah, exactly. And also, again, speaking about Ali, she's a protagonist to me, I believe. Her little dream state, she goes off and just dreams about these kids that she's found. What Randall pointed out was, when I saw that scene, Armando couldn't see it. He came in late. We watched, I guess, 40 minutes into the movie and further.
Yeah.
When I told Randall, I was like, yo, this scene freaked me the hell out when I was a kid. He's like, hey, but you think about it, this is kind of nice and cute. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was a sweet scene for me. She's reliving not reliving. She's getting a flash again of one of the children that she helped recover, right? Because she's going through the files and sees the baby Bjorn, right?
She's going through her books.
Yeah,
well, a personal book,
bib, not the Bjorn, the
baby bin. A personal book
bib.
about, I guess, cases that she solved or worked on, and she just gets the bin and holds on to it. And she goes to sleep.
She goes into the dream state, and then in that dream state, she sees the skeletal remains of the child
in the dress.
In the dress, looking at a picture of herself.
Damn.
And then the child turns around, looks at Ali, and she freaks out. Ali, obviously, for good reason.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing just the corpse. And then the corpse, the skeletal remains, starts walking towards her.
Like a dead baby, just like this.
Starts walking towards her, and then you see that Ali's freaking out, and then when they zoom out, the skeletal remains of this girl is actually
just hugging her.
So immediately for me, I was like, he's like, oh, this creeped me out. I'm like, if you think about it, it's actually kind of sweet. Because what you're seeing is this baby, this child, thanking her, hugging her, saying, you gave me peace, you gave me my moment of rest, you helped me find my rest. So
exactly.
That's how I saw it. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cute. And Max was like, what do you mean? That freaked me out.
Yeah, so mind you, I was a little kid. This is just my first memory of the movie.
It makes sense. If you're seeing this at like fucking 10 years old or earlier,
you're not comprehending.
Yeah, you're not going to comprehend that as a nice moment.
So that opened up my mind. I was like, yo, this is awesome. Like, it just made me love it more. And like, who knows what really happens in supernatural ways and whatnot. So like Randall said, maybe it gave the baby closure. Now they can rest.
Yeah.
But after that, the detectives and Ali go to the funeral home, which is owned by Dr. Chen, and they try to get access to the Boneyard where
this is the morgue, right? This wasn't the funeral home.
Oh no, it's the
county
corner.
They actually never go to the funeral home.
Yeah, they go to the corner.
They only mention it, so they go to the funeral. I mean, they go to the morgue, and this is where they're trying to get access, and this is where we meet Phyllis Diller's character.
Super funny and
her
rude,
and her lovely poodle.
Her lovely poodle, which what's the name of it?
We'll get to that.
Flint. It started with an F. It's just a weird name.
They both have weird names.
Yeah. Phyllis Diller was it? Mrs. Poopinplats. So imagine that.
Yeah.
But she doesn't give them access, but they do get access to a room where they have cameras, and from the Boneyard, where the dead bodies are, and they're talking to one of the doctors. I believe, I'm not sure his role, but they get evidence because Ali, the psychic, she's like, oh, can I go down there and touch the bodies? She has different ways on trying to communicate what happened, try to get evidence. and she ends up getting a few hair strands from one of the dead bodies.
Yeah.
And she's like, look, I need to be alone. And she goes into her room. She starts touching the hair of one of the dead kids, and she goes like, I guess, would you say, she astral projects herself?
Yeah, astral projection. I would say it's an astral projection.
Yeah, into the boneyard, and she sees.
Flusums is the name of the poodle.
What was it?
Flusums.
Flusums? How would you spell that?
Like flus.
Floosums.
Wow.
Flusums. That's.
Anyways,
she goes and she's in real time and seeing what's happening in the boneyard.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is where I believe Armando starts joining us.
Yeah, and he sees the reveal of the three little zombie kids.
Exactly, and this is what Armando was asking, like, he was trying to catch up with what was happening in the first 40 minutes he didn't see. Allie, what was your question? If she could see the future or whatnot?
Yeah, because what I was trying to understand from Allie was that if she was, what's the term again?
Her ability
but what's the name? Astro.
Well, yeah, but the astral projection is one part of it.
Yeah.
But her psychic ability.
Her psychic ability was if she could see the future or just stay present and try to see what's going on, reveal things to her that she cannot see physically, and also just move and also see in the past. So when we saw from the movie, as we saw the movie to finish off, she was able to see what was present and past, but not into the future.
Yeah.
So which was answered to me watching the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
What I enjoyed also about her character in that state is that you can see the facial expressions into her acting. Like you could see that she's practiced this and thoroughly wanted to get this right. Like she wanted to mimic like a sidekick. She really wanted to mimic. Like she was there. The hurtfulness of what she saw, the terrifyingness of what she saw, and from the glimpse of what she saw from from the past. And then when she went down to the boneyard, where it was revealed to her, when she freaked the hell out and she just jumped backwards. I think that was great.
No, exactly.
That was
basically, she did her job. She's an actress, and she caught the present moment of what I think I would do.
Even more so for this being her first film and being the lead. Even though Phyllis Diller is the one that gets primarily pushed as the actress in this movie, but her part in this movie was relatively small. But
comedic.
Deborah Rose, who plays Allie Oates, really knocked it out the park as her character in this film. And she actually really pulls you in as a person who feels the pain, who feels the emotion, feels the fear, and goes through it all in the movie with you.
Yeah.
So definitely agree with that part. And what I wanted to point out with this that stood out the most for me in this film is the special effects.
Oh, yeah.
Like by far, the special effects done in this movie were spectacular for the era and for the age. You're talking about late 1980s is when this movie is getting filmed, right? It releases in 1990 or 1991, depending on who you want to listen to. But in the end, like you're talking about an era where special effects is reaching new points, new heights.
Yeah.
You had The Evil Dead. You had the birth of American Werewolf in London. You have all these special effects that come into play. But what they did in this film to create the three little children, three little ghouls or demons, whatever you want to consider them. And I guess I'm gonna spoil this because I think it's something that needs to point out. If you want to see a Phyllis Diller monster, watch this movie because what they do with Phyllis Diller was fantastic. And then even more, a lot of people know this part already if you've seen the original artwork for this movie. But the poodle has a complete transformation, which is also amazingly well done.
Yeah, exactly.
So the special effects in this movie alone should pull you in to watch it. Even if you see it, because it is a direct to VHS kind of movie, even if you see it as just a C kind of movie, it's a fun movie to watch. And it's one of those that you will enjoy. Just the special effects alone will pull you in.
Facts.
The scene of the introduction of the three little demon ghoul kids was just one of the moments that I was just like, okay, yeah, I don't give a fuck about the rest of this movie. That part right there pulled me in.
Exactly. What Randall's saying, the special effects is just phenomenal. For me, it reminded me of, this came out before Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead.
Yeah.
Like Randall was saying, Phyllis Diller's transformation into what she becomes. It's just like Dead Alive, where I believe the mother transforms into what, if you've seen Dead Alive.
Yeah.
So that just made it more fun for me, and like Randall said too, the revelation of these Kyoshis is just, like I said, right now I'm going back to my childhood, seeing these little kids just jumping around, eating dead bodies.
Crazy. I want to add to that in my mind, like the way they made her transformation character, and all these other characters were transformed into that mold of like almost cartoonish, the way they made them look.
Yeah.
What I loved about that, it gave me a feel of a different movie. Not saying that we're gonna go to a different route with this, but I'm just saying I want to bring out another movie that gives you that same feel of the way they made those characters look, special effects wise, and
puppetry.
The puppetry reminded me of Attack of the Killer Clowns.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
The Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Yeah. Attack of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, because
it's not Attack of, it's just Killer Clowns.
Yeah,
but
I know what you mean.
When you're saying Attack, you're thinking about Attack of Killer
Tomatoes.
Yeah,
tomatoes. But
tomatoes, clowns.
It was like almost but thank you guys for getting that right for me. But yeah, the Killer Clowns movie, because the same effects is there.
Yeah, the
style was there,
effects,
and I love that. So so it also tells you like how in depth they got with this process of trying to gravitate not only a horror film, but now you're incorporating this magistry of magic in the FX side, to really put the fear into people watching this damn movie.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like the little kids, when they woke up in the morgue, the first thing they did was stretch. That shit was dumb creepy to me. You know what I mean?
Armando was saying they're stretching because they're underfed. I'm sorry, they haven't been fed human flesh, which another thing that I believe Ali was saying was since Dr. Chen was part of a funeral home, funerals were done, but they believe that they took flesh from the back.
Yeah, because that was
the corpses,
Yeah, ideally because they feed, they full on feed, and
doing the autopsies. They found the human remains inside the bellies,
so they were asking how would that happen, how would he accomplish it, and the ideal way that Ali came up with was that, like, unless it was being done through the back. Because, even if you do an open casket, you're not going to want to show a body that's been fed upon. So how else can you do it? Just do it from the back, because all you have to do is just fill it in the hole.
Exactly, and also
was that motion a little wrong? Right there?
A little. It's okay. I like going in the hole. Anyways, what I want to add about her character too is how she becomes this transformation.
Oh yeah.
Is why this little demon.
So I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
It's something I did. I didn't mean to cut you off.
We'll call him Mac the Cutoff.
So, Randall kept
cut the Mac off.
What Randall kept asking me was like, Mac, how do they multiply? And I was like, you'll see, So this is what Armando's gonna say.
What I love about the multiplication process is that these little ghouls, I was gonna say the word, these little ghouls, they supposed to inflict their own flesh upon you. And not inflict it like tossing it at you, slapping you with it, hurting,
or scratching you.
Or scratching you or biting you. They have to feed it to you directly. So there's a scene in this movie that cracks me the fuck up completely because it had me dying over here.
Yeah.
Is that while the little ghoul is chasing what's her name again?
Phyllis Diller.
But her actual character's name.
This is Poopin' Plats.
The pooper. All right. The pooper over here.
Yeah.
She's chasing the pooper, and the pooper turns around and tosses the this whole like
rack of liquid,
like of canisters onto the ghoul, and the ghoul starts to die off. But then when she's trying to escape, while her colleagues come or friends try to help her, the ghoul grabs her arm. Well, not her arm, her scarf, to reel her in, but at the same time choking her. And he pulls off, or she pulls off.
Well, see, Armando just pointed out something. So with the scarf, he's choking her, so she has nothing to do but gasp for air.
Gasp for air, exactly. I'm glad you caught on to that. Yeah. And what this little dude does, little girl does, is pick at her own scalp and brains and yanks off the head and throws it into her mouth, which had me dying over here.
Throws it in her mouth, like literally.
Feeds it,
pushes it in there.
There you go.
Yeah,
just like
rubs it.
Like
rubs the lotion on it, and then it puts it in the basket again.
Yeah, like makes no. It was funny as hell. It was like the baby.
Buffalo Bill.
It's like the baby feeding the adult rather than the adult feeding the baby.
Exactly.
That was funny as hell.
And also too, if you're a Nightmare on Elm Street fan, that reminds me of part 2 where Freddy just rips out his arm, saying that he's got the brain. So just little references here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that part was funny. It was nasty because she kept throwing up, and you know, like I said, they saw that this could be the transformation. How Kiyoshi's passes itself. So this could also be the first living human being transformed into a Kiyoshi. Because all we've seen is like just dead bodies.
Which really doesn't. Its technical name is Kiyoshi, but really doesn't turn into one. It's turned like a modern futuristic version.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say futuristic. I would just say that maybe there's like what Mac was pointing out. Like maybe there's a different effect when it's done
to a human.
No, not to a human. To someone that's alive.
A living.
Okay, yeah, a living human.
Yeah, because when they do the ritual the first time, the child is dead.
Yeah.
The child is dead. It's wrapped up in a perfect well, I guess now I can use the word Bjorn, in like a funeral Bjorn type of thing, right? And then they feed it freaking flesh from its own parents, apparently, right? Like that's what it seemed like. It was its own parents.
Yeah, the parents' fingers were cut off. They're cut off
each. And their own fingers, right?
Yeah, they feed that to the child, and then finish the ritual with plucking a soul out of the sky or something, inserting it into the child, and all of a sudden it comes back to life as a Kiyoshi.
So is that what you pointed out about maybe why they had uneven fingers?
I don't know why that.
That was just weird. And it was really just a pinky.
Yeah, the pinky was just super long and whatnot. What was I wanted to add? So out of the 3 Kiyoshis, one of them kept holding on to a doll.
A doll, yeah.
One of these, like, would you say, like those creepy dolls, what would you call them? Like,
I don't even know what the hell to call it. I think it was creepy as fuck.
Annabelle.
No, because this was like a plush doll.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Would you say like ceramic, like those porcelain dolls?
This wasn't
no porcelain.
It was plushy. It was like a cotton one.
So let me zoom into the face. You can see right here. Oh. So that's kind of creepy. Hopefully the lighting is good on you. But yeah, it's always carrying that doll in front of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you could say like, it's even though it's a ghoul, but yeah, it's still doing like kid mannerisms.
Yes.
You know. So, what else?
And I like the way they walk too. They didn't walk straight.
Those things don't walk.
They crawled, you know.
No,
and the vent scene was great too.
That's what I was about to point out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the vent scene was something spectacular. Even though I did notice what I feel to me was like an error, but
where
it kind of worked. Well, what I pointed out with the doors. Like the door opened for 2 of the ghouls, right? But then you never see them walk out the door.
Yeah.
They're in the vents, but there was no entrance to the vent outside the door. The entrance was on the other side. So if they went in the vents, before even opening the door. So it made no sense for the doors to swing open. At least for me. But that was the only thing I was just like, that was weird that the door swung like that, unless they like blew wind and then went whatever. Like it's weird. I don't know. Or unless they were tricky and they were like, ha, ha. like you know, they were coming out the door, but we're going up. And then they did it twice, which is even weirder. But either way, so the vent, you hear the vent, man. That would freak anybody out.
The speed of something coming
at that
through a vent, that just that fast is like.
Yeah, that
all
was.
you do is you're just hypnotized. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you're just backing up but yeah, something else too. Just the method of trying to kill these ghouls, because you have Detective Jersey, just straight up shooting them in the head and nothing. They don't go down. But we later find out that it's the chest, heart.
Yeah, you find out that the heart is the weak spot, or the chest area is the weak spot for these monsters. Because they tried shooting him once in the chest, but like shot him over here, then shot it in the head. It didn't go down. He was almost celebrating it until he saw the thing kept moving. Yeah. And then we see one scene where one of the other cops, Gordon, yeah, ends up using what seems like a Mac 10 that's futuristically
customized up the ass.
We call him Machine Gun Kelly for the fact.
If it's called Machine Gun Kelly, then it no longer exists.
I know,
but
had a recoil on that shit.
Yeah, I think that was weird. It looked like a machine gun built by Tesla. That's like the best way I can put it, because it has like the coil ring, very Tesla-like. Yeah. And I don't mean Tesla the car, I mean Tesla the original engineer. So yeah, Tesla, yeah, like the Tesla coil. So it looked like something like that, but he pulled that out and shot like without control. Just shot like crazy and managed to get it in the chest, and it died. So that's where you get the understanding, like, oh, he was able to kill it, but we still don't understand why.
Mind you, through elevator doors, he did this.
Yeah, and until later on, we get to see that.
Exactly.
Or at least get to understand it more when Allie puts it more into perspective.
Yes.
But yeah, ultimately, I think with this movie, we can start even closing this out. I would say this movie was just fun. It was just fun. It has the creepiness of the kids, so it catches you with the creepiness. It has maybe a couple of moments that can catch you as a jump scare, I would say.
I guess the setting has to be right.
Yeah.
It was super dark, and maybe you're alone or something. But
yeah, there was like a good maybe 3-4 possible jump scares in here.
Possibly, not for everybody.
Not for everybody, and not if you're used to like super jump scares. But they can catch certain people. But definitely gives you a creep factor.
The feeding scene was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. When you see those moments,
yeah,
you'll see why I'm saying like the creep factor exists. Like things where you just feel like, holy shit, like that's fucking holy fuck. That kind of shit can come out because you get that feeling in the movie itself, and I think that's where the special effects did well. And then it goes really well, and because I saw a review that points it out, and then when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, it's actually kind of true. That the special effects go really well until that last kid dies.
Yeah.
And then everything kind of gets a little bit more a jolt of fun.
Yeah.
Which is Phyllis Dillers.
Yes, which is
and
great.
And the poodle are just more like they were having fun with those.
Yes.
So, but again, all in all, I liked every single bit of the special effects, from the serious, really creepy, fucking monstrous looking demon children to the fun with the Phyllis Diller and the poodle.
And then the
I like the kill with the freaking forklift. That was great.
Oh yeah,
it could have been a little bit better for me.
Yeah, no, they
but
did.
It was great.
But you could tell probably they were just running out of time, or just they didn't have ideas just to cut off the little ghouls and move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, also like what Randall said, the special effects. For me, the main thing is the score, the music in the movie, and finding out more about Addie's character, her mental illness, her depression. That's just
I just think Addie's a Terminator.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so fun little tidbit with that. Fun little tidbit with that. So they did have 2 fire explosions, right?
Oh yeah.
They had the one in the vent, and then they had the one at the end, which is the final explosion.
That one, I think that's the one, right?
Yeah, that one actually caused an actual fire.
Yeah.
So they actually caused an actual fire with like they actually set the shit on fire accidentally. Like it wasn't on purpose, but
Great.
So they got in a little bit of trouble for that.
But just know that Addie was in both those fires, and she came out alive.
Yeah, she walked out like the T-1000.
Yeah, she's a Terminator. Just letting y'all know. She's a real one for the movie. I'm telling y'all right now. She's psychic and a Terminator. We're going to call it a P1000.
So, just like I said, this is a short review. Let's do it.
I mean, I don't know if it's been short, but we can say it's
it
short.
feels short compared to the other.
It's short like them kids in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's do a 5-star rating.
You want to do 5-star or 10?
We can do 10.
I think we
You can manage
gotta
10.
stick to 1.
You can manage 10.
If we start flipping at every single one, it's gonna be weird. We can do like 5 on this one, 10 on that one.
Let's do 14 on this one. No, let's do it with a 10-star rating scale.
Ooh, okay. I think because of how much I enjoyed the special effects, because of that poodle.
Mind you, we watched this basically like 2 times.
Yeah, we watched it twice.
Armando came in late,
and I was willing to rewatch it all the way through.
Yes.
I would say I give this one. I think I'm gonna follow up with the same I did in the last review. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10, mainly because the children were creepy as fuck, or the ghouls were creepy as fuck. The scene of the introduction was great. The backstory for Allie, I felt like appealed very much and was a good plot holder for the story. And yeah, the special effects at the end, even the jokey ones that are, I guess since I'm such a fan of like Evil Dead and movies like that, the jokey effects for things like that don't trip me out. Or I'm a fan of the Turtles, so seeing, you know, TMNT 2 when you see
Tokar Razor.
Yeah, Tokar Razor. Yeah, you see those creations. It's jokey kind of costume type of thing. It doesn't pull me away. It just pulls me more in, and I loved it. I love that kind of thing. Was there a little bit of lackluster acting with some of the other actors? Maybe.
Yeah.
I would say okay, absolutely yes, but still fun. Still fun movie, and I think it's an enjoyable one. That a lot of people could enjoy, especially in good company.
Awesome. I want to point out one thing that is another ironic thing.
Yeah.
Is both movies we saw today, both had axes. Anyways,
both had what?
Axes. Yeah, because remember she grabs the axe.
Oh, the axe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I heard axis. Axis to where? Where are we going?
Are we in the Axis power?
So I'm going to do 2 reviews in 1.
Oh God.
All right.
Hey, you weren't here for the first one. I'm sorry. Wait, were you?
Yeah, no, you were here.
Shit, it's fucking late.
Yeah.
I gotta go. If you know.
No.
You weren't here.
I'm gonna rate this movie in 2 parts.
Oh,
that's what I mean.
It's interesting.
Okay.
Because I only saw half the movie.
I mean, you missed the first 40 minutes, but you didn't really miss. Yeah, the only thing you missed was a sweet hug from a skeleton.
So,
you kind of heard us talk about it.
Yeah. So I can envision it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wanna rate this movie in 2 and then give my final score on it, right? So, effects wise, I'm giving this shit a 10. Effects wise, because I love that shit. Like I said, it reminded me of the Killer Clowns. It reminds me of the TMNT. It reminds me of that. It reminds me. I'm not even go this deep of Howard the Duck, of how he was made.
Oh wow.
Okay.
All right. It reminds me of that. I'm gonna go in there.
That's high praise.
That's high praise. I'm giving this high praise for your favorite movie. I'm giving this high praise, bro.
My nipples are hard. This man just surprised me. Okay.
You know, because I'm a fan of the art.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the art. So FX wise, I'm giving it a 10 because of the costumes.
Oh hell yeah.
The creepy kids, the way they woke up in the morgue. That was great. The eating, when you actually saw when they were feeding, you saw the ribs of the corpses, which was fucking amazing to me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed all that, all thoroughly through. I enjoyed all that. Now my second rating to this is, I think true. Oh, and I gotta add to the special effects. That machine gun or whatever the hell you want to call it I need one of them. All right.
Right, with how today's world is.
Yeah, so I need one of them.
About good 4 or 5 of them.
So I'm giving that a whole 10. Now, some of the acting was off to me. This is my second rating to it. Some of the acting was off to me. I thought Mr. Jersey over here was completely lost. He didn't have no part of this movie for no damn reason, right? Let's keep it a buck right now.
Old guy?
The old man, yeah. He had no reason to be in this movie. All right?
Possibly in the beginning, but then he could have just not been in the movie.
Exactly. And then the doctor with this fake ass ponytail he had going on was ridiculous to me. I'm just keeping it all
Yeah, I guess you could say one of the morgue.
You know, I'm keeping it a whole 100 here, okay? It's just me keeping it a buck. You know, I love Allie, and I love her character, period, but Allie's not Terminator. let's add it in there, too, okay? And then, the to me, since I didn't see the whole movie, I'm not going to completely judge it bad, but what I'm trying to get at is that although I do understand the reasoning behind the ghouls, I feel like the story for me, from what I saw, was a little all over the place because of how they became the ghouls for a certain way, they're dead, and then how the transformation of the ones that were alive were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
we
don't know, so it kind of threw me off, right? And then what really irked me about the movie was that ending scene, them fake ass hugs they gave each other. I mean, that was awful. All right, that was mad awful. So all in all, since I love the movie effects wise, which is freaking astonishing,
it's okay,
I'm giving it a whole 10.
Oh dang!
A whole 10 for the FX, but the rest of it together, I'm gonna give it a 6. All right, I'm gonna give it a 6. I would go a little higher, but I'm gonna give it a 6 from what I saw. Maybe if I see it again from the beginning and I get more background on it, I may give it a higher score. But I think a 6 is what it is. I'm gonna give it a solid 6. I don't want to give it a 5 because I feel like giving it a 5 is a toss up, and I don't want to do that because I actually enjoyed it at the same time. So I'm gonna give it a 6.
I like that. I like that review. Well, I'm pretty biased, right?
I mean, you're considering that it is like literally your.
This is a classic, right? Yeah.
Like I said, I have 2 copies. One's a screener.
It's become a cult film. Like it gained a cult following for multiple reasons. One, the special effects. One of them, the style of acting. Because a lot of people tend to admire and appreciate when things are overacted and things like that sometimes. And we've had a bit of overacting, things like that. So it gets appreciated differently because of that kind of thing. And, it becomes what we all know as a cult film. So this has become a cult film because of those details. But
yeah, exactly. So like I said, I was saying, I have 2 copies, this one and then the screener at home. I need to get my hands on the original release.
Nice.
Which if you know anybody,
let them know.
Which is it's a yellow slipcover. Bad boy's going up for some pretty good money. But anyways, like I said, I'm pretty biased. But to break it down again, rewatching it with the boys. The acting was just not the greatest, of course.
I did it. It's a direct to VHS movie, so we know what to get out of those. You're not going to get.
What was her name? Rose, the Allie character.
Yeah. Oh, Deborah Rose.
Deborah Rose. I saw her my first time.
I feel like she was the best actress and the best actor in the movie itself.
Oh, of course. Yes. One of the first times I also saw her was in the movie Ski Patrol, which I think is another 90s comedy movies.
Yeah.
She was funny, but so it hurts me trying to.
Can I say something before you continue? You know what this actor reminded me of? And it's a great cult classic because I'll give that motherfucking movie a 10 just for the fuck of it. The acting on this movie reminded me of Toxic Crusader.
Oh.
I mean, but Toxic Crusader was, I think, purposely over the top.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like...
Because even the acting, like, with the scenes with the girls, like, are just sort of jumping around there, just like, oh my god. That's
exactly.
And but they don't do shit like that.
I know they don't.
I know what you mean. I know, and in a sense of, like, the acting was...
Oh, the serious acting part, that's what I'm trying to go
No, I feel like the difference between, like, something like Toxic Crusader and this is that in Toxie, it's a trauma film, and trauma aims to be over the top.
Yeah.
This wasn't aimed to be over the top. It just happened to have that because the actors were probably not directed in the fashion to give you their best performance. It's kind of like when you look at an actor like LeBron James, where he can do the Train movie with Amy Schumer. Yeah. Right? What the fuck is it called?
I forgot.
Something Train. Whatever. Like, he does that movie, and in that movie, you're like, damn, LeBron can act. But then you see Space Jam, and you're like, damn, he
That's
can
awful,
act. You know, so I think directorial part takes into this, you know, and pushing actors to different points. You know, I don't know if it was all of their first movie, and obviously we saw it's Deborah Rose's first movie, and it's actually her first like acting credit.
Oh, wow.
So this is literally her first thing.
Yeah.
You don't know how much of I mean, Phyllis Diller is the only one who had a
Acting
major experience.
yeah.
You know, like anybody. If you don't know who Phyllis Diller is, then
Do your
obviously you have not, you know, gone through the classics of TV. But in the end, yeah, like there is certain actors that you can say aren't doing the best to give a realistic performance.
Yeah, like how would you jump with a gun?
Yeah, the Gordon scene was my favorite.
Imagine, and Gordon, I think he's a professional special makeup artist.
Yeah, his original job and what he continued doing after that, he has no other acting credits at all. Like it is just this, and then outside of that, it's just that he worked in special effects. So my curiosity was as he was involved in this, but there is really no information on the special effects that got worked on for this movie. It's really just the cinematographer, which, you know, that's only part of it. That's not really who controls all the effects. That's like, you know, telling me Savini is a cinematographer. No, Savini is one of the greatest makeup artists to ever fucking exist. Right. So, you know, I would want to know more details into that, but you can't find it because this is such a little informed movie when it comes to background information. You have to find somebody who worked on it to try and get more information.
I think there is an interview with James Cummins, the director of this film.
Yeah.
I believe I saw something online. I gotta retouch that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's worked on several films as special makeup artist as well.
Yeah.
You got The Thing. You got Cocoon.
Yeah.
He's worked, I believe, in some of the Twilight Zone episodes. But yeah, overall, I'm super biased. I don't want to rate it a 10 out of 10.
Dude, rate it what you're.
No, that's not fair.
Honesty, no, you gotta rate how you feel it, bro.
I would say
here we discuss our love and appreciation.
Oh no, of course.
Like we've given movies that have fucking 3s out there in the world, and we've given them like 6s and 7s.
Oh, okay. This got a 5.6 out of IMDb.
Rub your lube on it, bro. Do what you gotta do, dog.
Oh, you ain't got something like this. I do things to this baby at home that I'll tell you later.
Damn.
So I give it a 9 out of 10. I wouldn't say 10 out of 10 because, you know, it's
an attachment.
Yeah, it's a sentimental attachment.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, definitely look this up. I believe we didn't say it with the other movie, Curse of the Devil, but the Boneyard. I believe you can watch it on Tubi. It's a free streaming app. Randall's checking that out for you right now. But yeah, it's a quick 98-minute movie. I would say it's a good family movie.
Yeah, I would put it in that realm. You know, I would put it in that realm. The only part that would freak people out is just that beginning introduction to the ghouls.
Yeah.
True that. Yeah. But yeah, the special effects, again, we're gonna repeating ourselves. The mechanicals, the puppets, just like I said, if you watch Dead Alive, you'll see the resemblance of what happened. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Overall, fun movie. I'm super tired, but fun movie.
Alright, so Curse of the Devil, if you watched our first review for the night, Curse of the Devil is on Daily Motion. So you can watch
Daily Motion is still going, kicking?
Yeah, it's still there. So you can watch it on Daily Motion, or you can go ahead and rent it on Amazon. It is on there as well. It's not on any of the free streamings, but
no,
and it's on YouTube as well.
There you go.
So
that's a movie I would definitely.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend Curse of the Devil.
And renting it. I mean, if you want to watch it on YouTube, but Amazon Prime, I'm sure the quality is much better.
Yeah.
But definitely worth whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, ultimately, Boneyard is definitely a movie you can watch with friends or family. maybe not kids, because they might freak out with the demon ghoul kids. That would.
There's a porcelain doll. There's kids in it.
I don't know why it looks like this in the thing, because it did not look like that. The one that she was carrying.
Sort of creepier.
No, it is that. It just. I don't know, but it is that one.
Yeah, but it wasn't porcelain, because she was grabbing it when she
maybe
brought
the
it
head,
out.
maybe just the head. Maybe. Yeah, because she was. She moved it a lot. And it was like rag.
Yeah, it was ragdoll when she was carrying it.
Type shit.
When she grabbed it to yank it, it bent it.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just the.
Maybe just the head is porcelain.
Or maybe it's just a plastic face. It might not be
true,
porcelain.
true.
It might just be a plastic face. But there's definitely no way that thing was full on porcelain. But yeah, either way, regardless, fun movie. I enjoyed it very much. I would rewatch this easily any day. I enjoyed it very much for that reason, and I can see why it pulled Mack in and created this fandom where he wants to seek out to have a completionist kind of collection when it comes to the Boneyard, because it definitely is one of those films that can pull you in as a cult classic. You don't have to depend on stupendous acting. You don't have to depend on the best story. You just have to depend on something that's fun, enjoyable, and kind of creeps you the fuck out. So it's just a good movie in that sense, and that's why I think we all went above 5 for this movie, because it's just that kind of fun. You're talking about a direct-to-VHS movie, so obviously this wasn't looked upon as a movie that deserved to be in the movie theaters. It wasn't looked upon as a movie that was out there for the masses. They were just like, let's just put this one out there. Let's send it to Blockbuster Video. That's what they looked upon with this movie. So it wasn't sought as one of those, but it became that because of what it is in its nature. And I think that's what makes it like a fun and good movie to enjoy. But yeah, I mean, obviously all of us put it on a different scale, so there was different perspective from every angle here, you know, and I think that's why we wanted to do this. Whereas you always get different views. I go ahead and give it a 7, you get a 6, you get a 9, and we all have our reasonings, and we all have our what stood out, what did not stand out, what looked bad, what looked great, all of that. And we hope you enjoy, and gives you motivation to go ahead and check the movie out. Check Curse of the Devil out. Check any movie that we talk about out. Even if we say it's terrible, we recommend you go check it out and check out for yourself and view it for yourself and see what you think.
Exactly. And on that note, I think that should do it.
That should close this out.
So once again, we got Randall, Armando, and Mac. This is the Ram Film Reviews.
Ram, sorry.
And yeah. Thank you for sticking around. If not, you watch us later. Once again, recommend us some movies.
Got boned by the Boneyard, baby.
And remember, follow Armando Muse on IG. And you can go ahead and, if you're local, get some dope-ass haircuts.
Get that haircut.
Yep.
For your mama.